What's up, y'all? What is up? Let me just make sure my mic sounds right. The getaway. Hold on. What's up, y'all? What is up? Let me just. Okay, doesn't sound bad. Seems like it's okay. Hey, Rocky, you are already in the chat. I really appreciate you for being here. Thank you for coming through. Tonight it's gonna be a fast one. I feel like because everything is like sorry. It's gonna be a bit of a fast one because I didn't expect to go live tonight because I just didn't. I didn't really expect to go live tonight, but then they came out with the indictment, and the fact is, it's a federal indictment, so that's why I really wanted to talk about it. Because everything is like acting up on me, like all the chords and stuff. But anyway, I wanted to talk about it, so that's why I said let me just go ahead and go live because there's just a lot of different aspects to what's going on. So we'll be getting right into it. So today Trump was federally indicted. All right, so actually let me pull up Twitter so we could go look. There's a few things we're going to talk about. So let's just pull up Twitter and we can go ahead and look at it through Twitter. I just use Twitter for everything. It's just all easy. It's all right there. Look, there we go. Trump indictment. So there we go. All right, we'll listen to Van Jones talk about it. Here we go.
Vice President. Federal law says all election disputes at the state level need to be wrapped up by December 8th so the electors can cast their ballots on December the 14th. Now, each state governor has got to certify.
I thought that was like the announcement. That's all right. I thought it was the announcement. There are a lot of people who have takes to this that are so frustrating to listen to because everybody's so above it all, and it's like it's starting to get lame. Like it really is.
The men and women of law enforcement who defended the U.S. Capitol on January 6th are heroes. They're patriots, and they are the very best of us. They did not just defend a building or the people sheltering in it. They put their lives on the line to defend who we are as a country and as a people. They defended the very institutions and principles that define the United States. Since the attack on our Capitol, the Department of Justice has...
Okay, so Jack Smith is having a baby over this, so hold on. Here we go. We'll just pull up the New York Times. And hello, General Vague. Hello. And yes, they are very desperate. What's new? They just always are. If they're trying to ask me for more money, I'm not. I'm really not. So they're trying to indict Trump over special counsel accused Trump of taking part in 3 conspiracies. Former President Donald J. Trump was indicted on Tuesday in connection with his far-reaching efforts to overturn the 2020 election, part of a continuing federal investigation into Mr. Trump's attempts to cling to power after losing the presidency to Joseph R. Biden Jr. So that's what this case is they're trying to say that he's part of conspiracies to overturn the election, right? So they're saying that he came up with a plan to keep the power, right? The indictment was filed by the special counsel Jack Smith in federal district court in Washington. It accuses Mr. Trump of 3 conspiracies: 1 to defraud the United States, a second to obstruct an official government proceeding, and a third to deprive people of civil rights provided by a federal law or the Constitution. Mr. Trump is also charged with a 4th count of obstructing official proceedings. So conspiracy to defraud the United States. The charge against Mr. Trump details the various methods he and his co-conspirators used to try to overturn the results of the 2020 election. 2 counts for related to efforts to obstruct the vote certification proceedings. Mr. Trump faces 2 charges involving the vote certification proceedings at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. One of the obstructing overseeing that process and one of conspiring to do so. Related, and then another count for, again, the conspiracy to violate civil rights related to Mr. Trump's attempts to reverse election results in states with close elections in 2020. So that's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say that Trump, basically, everything that he was doing was on that day was a conspiracy to overturn the election. So let's talk about that day before we get into more of like information on certain outlets or whatever. Let's just have a real quick. I might lag a little bit. I don't know. Sometimes every time I see that Wi-Fi symbol, I'm like, here we go. All right. So let's talk about this just a little bit, right? And now we can talk about apparently everything because YouTube has removed the policy that said that you couldn't talk about election interference or say that like the election was overturned. You couldn't talk about any of this stuff, right? You couldn't, or else you'd have your channel probably nuked or whatever it is that they do, but they removed that, right? So we can say that the election was illegitimate, it was stolen, all of that, right? So now I can be me. For me, the election was definitely stolen. Absolutely, it was. It was. So I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. This does not have to be one of those things where it's like, oh, here you go. No, it's a thought. It's an obvious situation because I remember that time. I remember that season, the whole thing that happened up to January 6th. I remember the court cases that Trump was bringing up that judges weren't even looking at, and they were tossing them. Just, I'm not even going to look at this, and they would toss it, right? I remember that. That's a good question. I'm going to come to that. So yeah, I remember that. I remember in October, I always say this, in October, Nancy Pelosi she said, by any means necessary, Donald Trump will not get a second term. That gave me chills down my spine because I was like, I've never heard anybody say anything like that before, whether it was Republican about a Democrat or a Democrat about a Republican. I've never heard that kind of tone taken. By any means necessary. You understand what it means to say by any means necessary, Donald Trump will not be president for a second term? I said, well, what means are on the table here? Any? Well, what are we really talking about? So from right there, I was already like, something's going to happen with this election. Like, it's not going to be a normal election. And then, first of all, it wasn't a normal year. COVID, remember that? And then they said, they sent out ballots everywhere. They sent ballots. I am registered in Pennsylvania to vote. And I had been registered in Pennsylvania for a while. And son of a bitch, like Joe Biden says, a ballot just showed up at my mom's house in Jersey. My brother was like, yo, you got a ballot here. And I'm like, I don't know why I would have a ballot there when I'm registered in Pennsylvania. So how many other people did that happen to? Right? How many other it was a mosh pit. That's what the election felt like, just a mosh pit, sloshy mess. Even before that election, I think it was New York. There was like this place in New York that held some local elections that way. And what's up, Red Pool Jack? He did say he was a bad dude. They held like some local elections and they could not figure out the results of that election because they did mail-in ballots. I remember that too. And I remember thinking like, this is going to be bad. This is going to be really bad. It's going to be bad. And guess what? What happened? I never remember what happened with that case. So anyway, that night, November the 3rd, when we voted, like I went early Tuesday morning. I was there 6 o'clock in the morning. I was like third person in line and I was ready. I was ready. Like a lot of people were out, right? But I was ready and went and casted my vote for Donald Trump. It was the first time I felt very proud of myself because I said, I actually looked at the policies this year. I looked at what he had already did in his first term. and saw how energy independent we were, the borders, everything. So I was like, well, and then when Joe Biden said that he was going to end fracking, and I was like, well, I don't want my gas prices to be $5 a gallon. So there's that. And oh, by the way, Donald Trump had taken us out the WHO in September. So my vote was already solidified for him. Now, but I knew he was going to lose. I definitely knew he was going to lose because it was time for the Great Reset. It was time for that because we were 4 years too late. Thank you, Jesus. Like he did not give us the Hillary Clinton presidency. Because Father God, I don't know where we would be this year, today. I really don't know. But anyway, we're behind. You see, Trump took us out of the Paris Accords. We were supposed to be here with our energy grid like overflowing, where it would be shutting down blackouts, brownouts, all that. We should have been involved with all of that. All the climate change policies, we should have already been there. You know what I'm saying? We should have already been there. But thank God we're not. Those 4 years were not part of the plan. They weren't. So, anywho. So, anyway, but I remember that night though, we was doing good. We was winning big, right? And then, all of a sudden, I went to bed like, all right, cool. A lot of people woke up in the morning sick to their stomach. And on Saturday, once I saw the confusion of the back and forth, I was like, it's over. There's too much time to make things work. And what happened? On a random Saturday, Fox News said that Joe Biden was president. Fox News did too, by the way. And I had to hurry up and get in the house because I was like, everybody's out here banging pots and pans. Y'all don't even know what we're getting ready to face. Y'all really don't know. And here we were. Now, what makes it so for me, I was like, I didn't already think like, oh my God, they stole the election. I didn't think that right away. It wasn't till I forgot what made me start feeling like that. Things were starting to come out that dead people were voting. All kinds of things came out. Massive mail-in ballots, court cases being tossed. And then in Pennsylvania, guess what? We voted against our Constitution. We voted no excuse mail-in ballot, but we never changed the Constitution to say that we were allowed to do that. Act 77 really destroyed us, and Republicans always working with Democrats just to make it easier for people to vote so we can get more people involved. No, Democrats always have a plan. They always have a plan. And so there's that. There was a court case. Matter of fact, the Pennsylvania elections, they were halted for a week, and with certifying them, there was a judge in Pittsburgh. This was in November now. And she was like, don't certify the elections because something's fishy here. But then another judge came and overturned what she said. So I'm watching everything that was going on. I'm watching all of this. And then who else? Tim Pool. This is when I used to watch. I used to watch Tim Pool every day. I still watch him now, but I watch him every day, multiple times a day. And he was documenting everything for us. Like, it was like, okay, there's a court case here. Oh man, they threw it out. This is happening there. Oh man, that happened. Atlanta, people were coming out like, yo, man, it was a lot of funny stuff. Remember when I don't know if you remember the footage of places that took and they placed like boards over the windows so people couldn't watch the counting. Or even in Atlanta, when they said, all right, we're done counting, which first of all, you never just say you're done counting. And then at 3:00 in the morning, all of a sudden everybody was out back counting. All kinds of little funny stuff come on. And no excuse mail-in ballots. And by the way, this was the one time Fauci said something that I had a little respect for, because they were like, we're going to do no excuse mail-in ballots because because of COVID, right? And he was like, He said, nope, if people do 6 feet apart, they can still vote in person. He said that. And I remember thinking like, yeah, he's like, nope, y'all already did enough corruption. This one I can't be involved into. So he had cleared it. He was like, no, they could vote in person. But for some reason, all these ballots, I've seen the footage. I saw all of it. So imagine you see all of it. And then Trump was like, we're going to have a big rally, big rally, January 6th. So I'm like, yo, man, I'm going. I was like, I'm going because we knew Pence says he couldn't he couldn't, he couldn't overturn the certification. You had senators standing up and saying that this election was not done properly and that we should not certify this election. I remember, who was it? Josh Hawley for sure. Ted Cruz stood up and said that, right? People were saying this. He could have overturned it, especially the fact that, hold on a second, y'all. Especially because of the fact that it's been done before, apparently. Don't quote me on the story, because Tim Pool was actually telling the story around that time. If there's this much question about an election, then you really kind of just want to be like, hey guys, why don't we take a look at this again or something, but it's not what happened. So that's not what happened. And he did certify the election. And then my brother calls me up and he's like, Casey, they ran up in the Capitol. Now, like I said, I was supposed to be there, but my brother we were going to go. And then he was like, I have a bad feeling. He was like, we're not going. I have a bad feeling. We're not going. I'm like, uh-huh. And he was like, because I'm like, I'm going anyway. He's like, you're not going either. And you better tell me you're not going. I was like, damn, because my brother, I'm like, okay, he's never talked to me like that as an adult. So I'm like, all right, fine. I won't go. Oh God, the man saved my life. Because even if I would have been nowhere near the Capitol, they definitely would have came and got me. Because that's what they're doing. You didn't even have to go inside. And they come get people. Anywho, so we'll go back and look at some stuff on Twitter. But the fact is, I see some people say, oh, he should have just went with it. And he should have just said, he should have just gave it up and just said that he lost. And I'm like, have you ever had anything really important taken away from you? You felt it, like it was taken away. So it's hard to just be like, oh, all right. Okay. Let me just check the chat real quick and see what you guys got going on. Yes, General Vague, they are very desperate. We're going to get into why they're desperate, but they absolutely are desperate. They are. And yes, I do believe they lifted that restriction so that when Trump wins, they could get to complain this time. Absolutely. Remember what they did when he won the first time? Russia, Vladimir Putin, to this day, things aren't right with Russia because there are people out here who really think that Russia was in our servers. And so then you got to ask yourself that question, though. People believed it so much, like, yeah, Russia, I believed it. I did, right? Russia got into our election machines. They were hacked. First of all, the fact that that's even a thought, that it can happen, that's a problem. That's a national security problem. But they believed it in 2016. But when he said that, and you see, I didn't bring up the Dominion machines that are known to do things like that, though, right? That are known to be preset. In other countries, they are. But we can't say that it happened here, right? Okay. Anyway. But when he said it in 2020, it was like, oh, God, that doesn't happen. Well, some of y'all still believe that Russia did get into our election machines. So I'm confused. Corn Pop wasn't a bad man. He was a bad dude. Yeah. Voted Trump. You ain't black. Remember that? By the way, Red Pool Jacks, welcome in this white supremacist chat box. Yes, you are. Like, for sure. You're welcome. There's that too. I remember this guy, he was like, oh man, this guy at my job, he hated Donald Trump. But that's the other thing. We're going to talk about that, this hate for Donald Trump. But he's telling me like, yeah, Joe Biden's a good guy. And I'm like, no, he's not. I'm like, he's very biased in some of his statements. I was like, come on. And he's like, come on. He tried to hit me with how you going to be black and not want to vote for Joe. At the time, I didn't know I was going to vote for Trump. I knew I wasn't voting for Joe Biden. And I was like, first of all, he just said that. He was like, like, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I was like, come on, how's that supposed to make me feel? And I had put out all these other facts on him. He was like, well, he was just joking. I'm like, no. That's not a joke. Like, but black women definitely was like, well, I'm black. I'm going to go. All right. Like, it's just ridiculous. Black women, I'm going to put my chucks and pearls on. I'm voting for Kamala Harris. I remember Kamala Harris. Oh, she was so black, right? When she called herself the first Indian to run in the primary. I know. They're so scared of Trump that they're throwing everything at him. Yes, they are. They're trying to make something stick. Arresting political opponents is what banana republics and communists do. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I keep trying to tell people, like, this is about more than Trump. This is not just about Donald Trump. it's about your country. And Jason said, a real bad dude, and he ran with a bunch of bad boys. He was acting a fool when he was talking trash. Why do power outages got to be black? Is anyone bothered? Because we said blackouts. What's up, Colt Classic Cage? What is going on? Rebel Jack, oh my gosh, you were saying a lot. Let me see the last part. Let me see. Liberals, the ballot machines aren't connected online. Also, liberals, Russians hacked their tar ballot. Exactly. Like, exactly. Now it doesn't, now it's not sure. Okay. So, all right, let's go back to good old Twitter. Actually, I'm going to end this here. And I'm going to present this. Because Twitter was going off today. Oh, thank you so much. You like that, Cassie? Can you tell I'm hype? I'm like, so, all right. So, I did bookmark some stuff so we can get a feel. It was just, all right. So I was on Mario Nafal's okay, so they're off now. I was, of course, now. So this is like my favorite. Sorry, and this has nothing to do with anything, but I'm just gonna show you guys this is my right here is my favorite Twitter space because they actually let me come on and talk, and so they kind of know who I am. But I was on Marion Fall's Twitter spaces, and I was like, Solomon, please let me on it, but they wouldn't give me the mic. Anyway, all right, let's go back to my bookmark. So, but it was a pretty alright space. So, all right. Somebody put, here we go again. Here we go again. Indict him again. We don't care. All MAGA Republicans are voting for him. Retweet if you, again, I don't even agree. But agree. Keep your liberal comments in the basement along with your senile president. Well, it's indictment day again. That's really how it feels. So we already looked at that. Just trying to get some art. Robert Barnes says the J6 Trump indictment threatens core First Amendment freedoms in an unprecedented manner by making legal advocacy a crime, advocacy to Congress a crime, advocacy to courts a crime, advocacy to the public a crime. An honest SCOTUS must take it and dismiss. We know that's not going to happen, Robert Barnes. From a factual perspective, the Trump indictment is garbage, as it falsely alleges that no one involved believed any claim they made about the election, when in fact, no, Trump absolutely believed every single statement he made. Oh yeah, and many of his claims proved to be true. Brandon Straka, who was a J6er, he was in jail. Almost every January 6th case has nothing to do with the actual actions, but the criminalization of speech. Donald Trump is officially a J6er now, and that's what it is. So they're trying to say that Trump told lies. So they're trying to say, oh, when Trump would say, like, this is a stolen election, he was lying to us and that he knew that he lost. And so, because I took notes when I was on Mary Nafal's space, I took notes, and so they were saying, this girl, she was so hyped, this woman, God, she's like, well, no, they have evidence that he might know he was lying. I mean, innocent before guilty, I always say innocent, you got to be proven guilty, like whatever. You sound like you believe this mess. Oh, but they do have evidence, though, that he told one of his staffers, I know I lost. So somebody else in the space was like, Terry, you can't say, like, you don't know in what context he said that. Yes, he can say he knows he lost. He knows he lost, but that doesn't mean that it was done right. That's what he's saying. It's like, yeah, it's showing that I lost, but the process to get there is what's crooked. That's the point that he's trying to make, right? Okay. And she was like going off for a while. Like, I mean, she was going off for, but no, that's not, but he said that, like, okay, like, girl, bye. Even Arizona to this day, we can't figure out what's going on in Maricopa County. Like, still to now. I remember when Arizona was voting in the midterms. They were voting in the midterms, and then all of a sudden, whoopsies, the machines broke. Yo, man, this is America, yo. This is not Haiti, okay? The machines are not supposed to break, okay? Why are the machines breaking? This is America. That's a problem, right? Everything has to be under control. Matt, a lot of people went home and did not vote. That is an offense. Like, so all the machines broke. Like, so, and I'll come back to the chat, guys. So, but no, you got to pretend all of this stuff, this mess of an election, a mess. It was just a mess, but you got to pretend everything was free, fair, and safe. And if you don't, then you're just a cult. You're part of the cult, whatever that is, you know? Donald Trump says, I hear that that deranged Jack Smith, in order to interfere with presidential election of 2024, will be putting out yet another fake indictment of your favorite president, me. This was 4 hours ago at 5 p.m. Why didn't they do this 2.5 years ago? Why did they wait so long? Because they wanted to put it right in the middle of they wanted to put it right in the middle of my campaign. Prosecutorial misconduct. Absolutely. But what they'll say is, well, no, we was just getting the evidence together first. I know. I just bet. I know. You know, I really just bet. So Dr. Carol M. Swain says, the endless indictments are exhausting. Please pray for strength. Yeah. Please pray for strength and renewed vigor for Donald J. Trump. Below are some of my go-to scriptures. So she put some scriptures out. And even that thought, I'm sure there's someone out there who will say the same thing. Oh God, you praying for Donald Trump, bro? Have you ever been indicted? Like, bro, dude he's facing like 90 charges. Like, these things come with a bunch of amounts of charges. Remember, there's still the case somewhere in New York, and I think they had brought up some other case, and then I think they have a couple more they're going to bring up. I don't know how that feels. And there's people who's like, oh, he needs to debate. I get what y'all saying, but I don't even know how the man is standing up, to be quite honest. And you ask yourself, but I guess this is all part of the theater routine. How is it that this man is standing up? But is it even worth it to play along to get? What is this? This is not normal. Like, there's no question about it. This is not normal. This girl puts Trump indicted again. And then, like, she has, the black girls like, hey, like, yeah, we laughing at Trump. So then I put, yep, the foolish laughter of black women who shouldn't be voting in the first place. It's like, guys, like, y'all was so hyped. We're going to put our checks and pearls on it. Get out of here. So Donald J. Trump Jr. said, anyone else noticing a pattern here? The corrupt bureaucrat of the Biden regime charged Trump literally the day after. Wow, every single disastrous Biden crime family story. Absolutely. That's so true, because yesterday they came for Joe Biden with Devin Archer was straight up like, yeah, he was on the phone listening to all of our conversations, all of them. The witness statement was so bad that you could see Joe Biden's like lawyer. He was visibly kind of shaken, trying to put it together. Like, well, he was on speakerphone, so that doesn't mean that he was talking. I don't even know what that means. Then all of a sudden, Trump, rather than looking into the millions sent to their kids and grandkids from virtually all of our enemies, they go after their political enemies, knowing that their lackeys in the media will use their bogus charges to cover for Joe Biden, the most corrupt president in the history of our nation. Yeah, man, Joe Biden is a sleazeball. There's no such thing as this much coincidence. And if you've been paying attention, you will realize that we've become a banana republic. And that's so true. And so then he puts out the chart. June 7, FBI releases documents to Congress alleging the Bidens took a $10 million bribe from Burisma. June 8, Jack Smith indicts Trump in Mar-a-Lago docs case. And there's another crock case. A case makes no sense. July 26, Hunter Biden goes to court and rejects sweetheart plea deal after it was revealed DOJ tried to give him blanket immunity from future prosecutions. July 27, Jack Smith adds more charges for Trump in Mar-a-Lago case. July 30th, Hunter Biden, former business partner, testifies to Congress that Joe Biden was on over 20 calls, but just sitting there on speaker talking about the weather. Okay. With his son's business partners that Burisma execs pressured them to fire the prosecutor. August 1st, Jack Smith indicts Trump again for January 6th. it's obvious what's going on, right? And let me tell you something about that Burisma case too, real quick. That Burisma situation. It's funny. We do as Americans, of course, we look at the fact that Hunter Biden was out there getting ridiculous amount of money. Joe Biden was setting it up, making sure that prosecutors that were looking into Burisma and the corruption that was going on over there, that prosecutor gets fired. Joe Biden tells this story, and he always, he tells it so proudly how he dangled our taxpayer dollars in front of the Ukrainian presidents and officials and told them, if you don't fire this prosecutor, you're not getting this money. That's our money, by the way. Okay. So yeah, that happened. And it's like, well, why was that prosecutor probably even looking at Burisma? Never mind the fact that why is Hunter Biden there? But the whole Burisma was like corrupt. And I've talked to people who lived in Ukraine or have family in Ukraine, and they're like, yeah, it's a really corrupt thing that happened. And some people over there wasn't even getting electricity, like how they were being corrupt with the electricity. The people were suffering. And here's Hunter Biden all the way in Ukraine getting loads of money. What's going on? What's going on? Wow. So, and then we're going to go to my profile. But so I want to make sure okay, hold on. So let me check. Oh my God, am I lagging? God damn, go on, I hate this. Sometimes it's annoying. All right. So Chester Griffin says he attacked their way of life and they live off of corruption and fraud. Expose all of it naturally. He had to go. But Chester, that's good that you could notice that, because I hear it all the time. Trump didn't do anything. He didn't drain the swamp. Trump didn't do anything. He didn't drain the swamp. Trump didn't. I'm like, it doesn't really work like that. Like, maybe he thought it was going to work like that. I wasn't there for all of the campaigning before 2016. And everything that he was saying. I know that he was saying some pretty based stuff, and he probably thought he could just go in there and drain the swamp. The fact is, though, the person that he had by his side who was supposed to help him drain the swamp, they got rid of him within the first month of Trump being in office. I don't even think was he even in office. It was like a transition. So General Mike Flynn talks to the Russian officials, and he, just talking to them. Just talk, because he has to talk to like the Russian ambassadors, and they were talking about when that fraud thing about they stole the election happened. That's what Obama had put ridiculous sanctions on these oligarchs, ridiculous ones. Mind you, they didn't even do anything. So General Flynn was trying to talk to the ambassadors and telling them, the foreign ministry, and telling them like, we're not going to be, we're going to look at these sanctions again and make sure that they're supposed to be here, because we know that basically they're not. But I don't even think he said that part. It was just having a regular talk. And this is what you do when you are coming into a new, when you're coming in as president-elect, your team has to talk to other countries, like representatives from other countries, especially countries that you might have conflict with or whatever. This is normal. Susan Rice did the same thing with Barack Obama. She said it's supposed to be done. And then they started investigating General Mike Flynn, and then they kind of snowballed him. Not snowballed. They backed him into a corner and threatened his family, all kinds of things that they got, and he had to go. He had to go. So the person, I don't know where the swamp is. I don't know. I imagine you're like, he's a billionaire realtor, but he's not a politician. So he doesn't know all the secrets or whatever. I know that there's secrets here. I could tell that there are some secrets that are too obvious, but there's more secrets that I don't know. So I need a wingman. I need my right hand. And now my right hand is gone. So it doesn't happen that fast. Everybody, I don't know. It's just insane. What's up, Hypnotic? What's going on? Right, libs, crime. Trump peed on hookers in Moscow. Right, we don't need video evidence. Not crime. So what if Hunter Biden took videos of him with Russian hookers and paid for it with his dad's credit card? Right, yeah. So what? Right, like, and we listen. So what if we have the laptop that has all kinds of crazy footage on it? Right, but someone told me Trump peed on a hooker in Moscow, even though he wasn't there around it. It's just too much. It's just really too much. Rocky says, the senile, uneducated, unsmart, inexperienced, disgusting, vile, slobbering, vindictive, those narcissistic geriatric freaks really love playing the fake victim. I'm going to say that that's for Joe Biden. General Vague says, not understanding that I've lost can have obvious context that he lost by unfair means, willfully. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Man, you gotta see the kind of willfully ignorant that they are. It is almost scary. No, I have not seen 2,000 Mules. Can you imagine? I saw a little bit of footage, but I have not seen it. It's crazy. The FBI DOJ literally went after Al Capone with less charges. Yeah. God, man, my Wi-Fi is really getting on my nerves. I don't even believe Joe Biden exists, to be honest. At least the real Joe Biden doesn't. The president is not the same person as Senator VP Joe. Matter of fact, I have to show you something about that because it was actually kind of funny. This country is being held hostage mentally by a mentally unstable geriatric pervert like Biden. People like him belong in retire. Yes. Well, really kind of belong in jail. Mentally unstable geriatric. All right, I just wanted to make sure it was going right. Thank you, y'all. Hit that like button. I do forget to say that. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you. Please hit that like button, y'all. Retribution 2024. Thank you. Tell them for real. All of the stuff. It's not that people who vote that count. It's people who count the. Yeah. Okay. Trump still having his rallies and calling out the BS for 2 hours. He does have the rallies too, and he is getting tired though. Ask yourself, who's counting our votes? Yeah, who is counting our votes? Who is counting? We're going to talk about it. Like, who's counting our votes? So I'm going to have to get a position during that election. Only if it's Trump. Sorry, I'm going to have to get a position as like a poll watcher. Yeah, I will. Yeah. And because no, like we cannot live like this anymore. Like, this is insane. All right, let's go back to Twitter because there's a couple things. So I put it on my profile. This is the one. So I want you guys I want to introduce you to the judge who's going to preside over Trump's 6 indictment case. Okay, there you go. There she is right here. Like, this is a problem. Like this. Sorry. Come on. It's like Trump is cooked. Shake my head. A black woman, forget it. Look at her face. She's ready. They said she's giving out the worst sentences for people who's in January 6th. Like, she was not playing. Like, she took it far. I don't think a lot of people were happy with what I said, but let's go ahead and take a look and see. Okay, so Melanie says this will end up before the Supreme Court, where it will all be thrown out. However, they know this would take time. It's about sucking up time with these ridiculous charges. Yeah, but the problem is this is going to be in Washington, D.C. So, yeah, it'll end up in the Supreme Court, but he would have to get found guilty first. And it's very easy for that to happen. And again, the chick on the space, she was like, oh, that's not, we have systems in place. It's Washington, D.C. They don't like him over there. That's not a fair trial. Come on now. I knew somebody was mad. White matter is a black woman. You saying she's not fair? Like, she's not a fair, impartial judge or something worse? Yeah, I am saying that. I'm absolutely saying that. Yeah. Women have something to prove already. Black women definitely do. I know how we are. I'm one too. And because I'm honest with who I am, who I could be, is why I don't operate like that. No. Let me take that back. Because I worship God is why I don't operate like that. Yes, because that's the only way that I'm going to have integrity. I have to answer to the Lord. People are bad, for real. But I know how we can be. Resist the New World Order says these are evil times. Cajun Corey says, and yet Trump was the tyrant. There's a faction of black folks who sided with the deep state and they're too stupid to know any better. Yes, it's true. Especially when it comes to Obama. There's people still tonight. That's my President Obama. I'm like, Obama? What did he do exactly for black folk? Not that he need this notion though that we keep asking. All right, anyway, that's another live. But what did he do exactly? And who did Muammar Gaddafi? You ever heard of that name? The man who wanted to bring African money and like really make a thing go back system, and all of a sudden he was gone. Obama? Okay. Lady G says political persecution doesn't hold up in a normal court. Magic the Answer says it's astonishing what lengths warmonger cultists will go through to remove focus away from the Biden crime family and Burisma. Yeah, and then Lewis says a politicized judge. Come on, this is a Democrat. Like this, like it's a hardcore. Yeah, judges. No, they're not political. She had her chucks and pearls on. I know she did in 2020. Some people quote tweeting me. Nick Fad said, Democrats don't promote black women for their intellect. That we both know. And that's true. They promote us to use us for because they know, the hip hop thinker says, based on the evidence, they seem to use and manipulate them via emotional pleas and demonizing black male masculine. Absolutely. Absolutely. They know we're loud. I am loud. But I try to be loud for the right reasons, but they know how we can get. And she's to the left of Lennon. Like, this is, it's not looking good. I'm sorry. It's not. So the thing is, why it's not looking good? Well, all right, here's why. Because, so this isn't the case that could get him to, this isn't necessarily the case that they can say, oh, he can't run for president. No. The case that he that it would have to be is saying it would be to say that he caused the insurrection. Like first of all, we know there was no insurrection on January 6th, okay? But we're going to talk in leftist dumb terms. And oh my God, I wish this Wi-Fi would really. But we're going to talk in leftist. All right, I just got to make sure I'm not lagging too hard. So the case, so they call it sedition. So there's only, I think, one time, because you can have a president that conducts a campaign from inside jail and can win the presidency from inside jail, and then the next move, I pardon myself, I'm out of here. Okay, so you can have that, but I think for one reason you can't, and that is to say that president caused sedition, and that it was a seditious act of trying to take over the government. And if the president, if a person gets, not even just a president, if a person gets found guilty for that, I think that's one time that they'll say you can't be on the ballot, you're not safe. First of all, you're found guilty, you need to go to jail, and you need to stay in there. You're not safe. That's what they will say. This case, though, to me, it predates what will come, which will be that case. To me, I think it's just getting ready to bring that case up, because they're getting him on conspiracies they're trying to get him on conspiracies for lying about the stolen election, which he didn't lie about. But if they can prove, or if they can get a jury to say, yes, he did lie when he was telling people that his election was stolen, he was lying. First of all, to be honest, how can you really prove that, right? How can you prove if somebody's lying about something so subjective, for real? But if they could get him, if they could prove that, and I mean, me and my brother was talking about this today. It's like Obama could really call up people yo, man, I know where your daughter go to school. I know that's taking it far-fetched, right? Okay, so we'll leave that out of there for now. But they don't like him over there. Oh yeah, the racist, the fascist, guilty. Okay, so now if he gets found guilty for that, it can be a precursor to that sedition trial, from the way I'm looking at it. I'm not a lawyer, but I do assess things, and I think I do a pretty good job assessing things. So, in the name of God. So, that's how it could turn into that. And if that happens, I don't even know. I know, but I don't know. So, let me see. I'm coming back here real quick. Red Pool Jackson. Okay, we did say that. Go down to State Farm Arena and keep an eye on Ruby Freeman. Who is it? Who was that? That was somebody, obviously, that was running a show, I'm sure, over there that did whatever they were told to do. But in fact, there was this one lady who was supposed to really whistleblow on what happened in Atlanta. I think she passed away. Don't quote me. The trial is also taking place in DC. He can't get a fair trial. Yeah, Mac. Yeah, I'm Mac. Mike. Yeah, Mike has bad knees. I can't take your name. That's adorable. I can prove Joe Biden isn't real. Joe Biden, if you want. All right, then I want you to prove it. It's not that I don't believe that this couldn't happen, by the way. I think anything is possible. I just haven't really looked into that hard, but I think anything is possible. I just think that he has like brain cancer. So the women in life are the women in life are black. There's no way it's going to be. It's like it's not going to be like the fact that Obama counts as black, being that his father's Native African and his mother's white, always blew my mind. Yeah, well, we didn't even go into deeper things with Obama. Barry Santoro, something. Barry Santoro. I don't think that man was, remember when Trump was asking for his birth certificate? Everybody's like, he's racist for asking for his birth certificate. And then I started to do research on this like a few months ago and was finding court cases being brought up by like regular folk who was like, yo, this man is not an American. Okay. Ruby ran the Biden votes on a loop late at night after the water main. Oh, right. Water main hoax, and her supervisor got a call. She was awarded yes, that's right. I actually need to look that person up too. Just to be reminded too, man. So much stuff happened. So many things happened, and it's like you can't even keep it all together. It's weird how your message about Trump only shows up in live chat at night. Trump is the only word I could think that would be censored. Did it? Oh, you know what? Damn, I accidentally skipped Ronan. Sorry. They will never let Trump win. This is just one contingency. Yeah, they won't. We're gonna talk about a little bit of that because Mike Cernovich, he was going off. And there's times where Mike Cernovich gets annoyed with Trump, and people can't seem to understand that you could get annoyed with Trump and still think that he's best for the job. Okay, so but he was going off today. But remember, Mike Cernovich, if you guys were with me that one Sunday when we watched that, if you guys go back, it's on the lives that I have, the plot against the president. And I mean, it breaks down the Russia collusion, everything, General Mike Flynn, everything, it just breaks it down. And Mike Cernovich was really involved with that. Like he watched while it happened. It was crazy what was going on. And then we're going to get into Ron DeSantis because I don't know, man. Some of these people tripping, bro. Like, we know, Tim Pool says you are in a civil war. Let me write that down because there's something I want to say about that. God. All right, there we go. There he goes. Oh, this looks like this was the Moms for Liberty when he was there for Moms for Liberty. Oh my God, guys, it was so amazing. Like, it was just so amazing. Like, everybody was screaming USA, USA. Like, people don't scream that anymore, So Mike Cernovich, he said, I said immediately that Trump needed to take a stand and help raise money for J6 defendants. Day one, first-class lawyers and aggressive. His advisors said that them advisors got to go. His advisor said that will make him look guilty and maybe lead to a conspiracy charge. Yet here we are today. I said he might as well have went all out because here we are today. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can say that he should have did, and it's not. It's very annoying that he didn't. He should have pardoned himself on the way out. Yes, I said that then. You have to think ahead. You do have to. You have to go. That's why you have to think ahead of these people, meaning that you got to go to a dark place in your mind to plan and be ready. And it's a place in your mind that you might be afraid to go to because you might think like, how can people really be this diabolical? Like, is this normal? Right? They are. They are. So there's never anything that's too out of this world that they wouldn't try if they need to. They blasted a president right on camera. Right on camera. And to this day, there's something about that blasting we're not allowed to know. And it's not about the CIA that might have did it. What else can't we know? Unfortunately, people argued otherwise and won the day. Cerno is obnoxious and arrogant, but he doesn't underestimate the evil we face. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna come back to Tom Elliott because he was like getting on my damn nerves. Okay, Cernovich had said a bunch of stuff. All right. There's a couple other things Cernovich said. Let me go back here because people were reacting. And hold on. If they this is Benny Johnson. If they really did beat Donald Trump so badly in 2020, why are they psychotically lashing at him with everything they have to keep him from running in 2024? Logically, you'd assume they would just let him run, right? Easy win, right? Beat him again, right? Yeah, now you see. I mean, I gotta keep pretending like this, you know? Okay. Wait, what? All right, he's retweeting a bunch of other stuff. Mike Pence, I know we all got doubts about the election. Oh, shoot. Oh, let's look at this.
I know we all got our doubts about the last election. And I want to assure you, I share the concerns of millions of Americans about voting irregularities. And I promise you, come this Wednesday, we'll have our day in Congress. We'll hear the objections. We'll hear the evidence. But tomorrow is Georgia's day. I know
we all hear that. Look at what this bum wrote. Mike Pence. Today's indictment serves as an important reminder. Anyone who puts himself over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. Yo, man, let me tell you something. Let me tell you who they placed right next to Donald Trump was Mike Pence. And Mike Pence is he is perfect at what he does. Yeah, he stood by Trump very quietly and waited till he could possibly get his turn. Because I will say, as his vice president, he was there. But who knows, though, what he was doing behind the scenes? We don't know. I don't have anything that I can say, well, he had talked to so-and-so, whatever. This man moves like a ninja because he's so milquetoast and bland that you wouldn't realize it. This man moves like a ninja. Did you hear what he just said? He said, we're going to have our day. And we'll hear the evidence. This man lied to a bunch of people. And then then it says, well, I couldn't do anything about it. Why would you? Extraordinary. So it says, page 32 of the indictment begins a section where it is claimed the vice president had no authority to disqualify electors. If that's true, why did the law about this process need to be amended in 2022? Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, they changed. They had to fix the law. I mean, it's just, who is this? The electors investigation was originated by the FBI by former agent Tim Thibault, who resigned after his political bias was exposed. The FBI remains in violation of federal law by refusing to turn over records relevant to Thibault to the oversight project. You see what I'm saying? Trump's judge has been handing out stiff sentences to J6 participants. Christine Priola's life was uprooted after she entered the Capitol on J6 with the sign that read, "The children cry out for justice." Priola begged Judge Tanya Chutkin for mercy. Chutkin gave her 15 months. For what? Really? He was going off earlier. And he said he said other stuff. I feel like he deleted it because, I don't know, he was going off. I mean, he was mad. All right, so we're going to get back to, all right. We're going to get back to okay. We're going to get back to the chat. I want to see what you guys are saying now, especially after seeing that you are pre-diabetic, get off your cooch goober. Anyway, excuse me. After seeing that Mike Pence nonsense, I want to see what y'all are saying. How could I forget to even show this one? An actual insurrection was 3, now 2020, yeah. You meant to say that all the women in my life. Oh, wait. Okay, I got it. So all the women in my life are black. There's no way it's going to be right. Like, you mean, like somebody, oh, well, why you say that? What are you trying to say about black women? The same what I know about black women by being one. Like, what you said, Bobby, for what minute so I could post it? I don't even know how to do that, yo. Like, now I feel bad. I don't. Oh, did you do? All right. Okay, I'm glad you did post it because I'm like, I don't even know how to do that yet. Best I can do without a wrench to post the link. You can take the wrench away immediately is just to post the link. Yeah, but I don't even know how to do it. That's what I'm saying. Like, which is ridiculous because, but I never had to do it before. That's so annoying. That I don't know. Like, I guess I would have to go to my YouTube. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know how to do it because I haven't done it before. I should make moderators. I'm gonna mod you though. I'm gonna see if I can mod you like after, so then you can have it the next time I'm on. If that makes sense. I don't know. What's up, JC? What is going on? All right, let's go back again because we're gonna wrap this up because I didn't plan on being here long because I didn't plan on being here at all. But I want to go to. Let me check one thing real quick. I want to see what Vivek said. You know what's funny? People get so mad about Vivek. I have no issue with Vivek because I don't think that he really thinks that he's gonna win. But I don't, like he's pretty straightforward and to the point. Like he's tweeting about it. And one thing, hold on, let's see what he said. I'm not gonna.
It would be easier for me if Donald Trump were eliminated from competition. That's not how I want to win. This is not about politics to me. This is about first principles. We do not want to become a country where the party in power is able to use banana republic-like tactics to eliminate its political opponents. Yet I'm sad to say that's exactly where we are. The allegations in this indictment fall flat. It is wrong and incorrect and inaccurate to place blame for what happened on January 6th at the feet of Donald Trump. I said this at the time. I've said it ever since then. I continue to say it today. I would not have made the same judgments that Donald Trump did in how he handled that day. But that's different from saying that he committed a crime. He did not. He specifically told the protesters that day to behave peacefully. The First Amendment in this country gives political protesters the ability to express themselves and their opinions freely. Donald Trump was not responsible for what happened on January 6th. You want to know what was responsible? I said this in the days after January 6, 2021, just as I say it today. Systematic, pervasive censorship in this country. That was after a year where we had told people across this nation.
All right. So yeah, he has said that before. So he handled that very correctly. He knows what to say. Like, this is not about politics right now, right? And we're gonna get into that. It would be easier for me if Donald Trump were eliminated from competition, but that's not how I want to win. This is not about politics. To me, this is about first principles. We do not want to become a country where the party in power will use banana-like republic tactics to eliminate its political opponents. Yes, you see, look how you handle that. Because when he talks like this, right? So you think now is the time to be like, oh, well, when I'm president, this isn't going to happen when I'm president, whatever. No, because people are going to find it vile. They're going to be disgusted. But when you come out and you defend, what he's defending is not what he did, but he's defending the free speech. He's defending his right to question things, okay? It may not be the way he would do it, but he has a right to do whatever it is that he needed to do. And he wasn't trying to hurt anybody. He told him, we're going to peacefully march over to the Capitol. Remember that? So shout out to him for that. But I want to show you guys real quick while we come to the end. the reactions from from people who, I guess, man, I don't know, man. I guess these people are just really, they just want to see, they want to see Donald Trump go. This is Tom Elliott, and I'm gonna do this because, like you're doing too much. This is not about DeSantis right now, Dear Trump voters, yes, Biden's DOJ is corrupt and is trying to take out their leading 2024 opponent. Okay, Trump deserves your sympathy, but not your vote. What are we doing here? Trump had his shot at dismantling the deep state, but instead empowered it, even as they were at war with his administration. If you want someone to surgically excise these elements from the federal government, you'll need someone who is competent and can easily win the presidency. That is why, if you want vengeance for Trump, vote for DeSantis. That is the most disgusting campaign persuasion I've heard ever. It's just nasty. Like it's so like crooked. I can't even follow you after. I can't because first of all, you'll need someone who's competent. Why do they keep trying to say that Trump is not competent? Right? Why? That's why if you want vengeance, vote for Trump and someone who can easily win the presidency. I want to tell you that there's a lot of people who don't like DeSantis. Okay, they just simply do not like him. I mean, he did great with the parents in Florida, but people don't like DeSantis. That's number one. Number two, he doesn't connect. He does not connect with the people. Number three, there's a lot of people waiting to vote for Trump. Why do people think that DeSantis can win so easily? It is baffling to me. It really is. It really is. And that's why if you want vengeance for Trump, vote DeSantis. So he's going to dismantle the deep state. He's going to, he's going to excise these elements from federal government. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. So I said, don't you get it? It's not about Trump. It's about the weaponization of the DOJ against the people of this country. This will set a bad precedent. Now they don't end potential presidents like they did to RFK. They just put them away and take them off the ballot. This is election interference at the highest level. If they get away with this today, then they will do it again to whoever else you may want to vote for. That's so true. And that's the point. At the end of the day, that's the point. People keep, Trump, well, he might have, don't you get it? They can indict anybody. They can make up anything. The man has been spied on by FISA courts. It's a foreign affairs courts. He's not a foreigner, right? And so, it's just insane. It really is insane. It feels weird me doing a live by myself. I haven't actually gone live by myself in a while because I'm I usually have a few people talking with me, but yeah. And then I do appreciate you for saying the quiet part out loud. Yes, vote for DeSantis, right? Since that's what was promised to him, wasn't it? I mean, because I don't know. And then here you go. There's DeSantis. As president, damn. Wow. I will end the weaponization of government. Yeah. Replace the FBI director. So you're going to keep the FBI. And ensure a single standard of justice for all Americans. Okay. Well, I've seen reports. I have not read the indictment. I do, though, believe we need to enact reforms so that Americans have the right to remove cases from Washington, D.C. to their home districts. Washington, D.C. is a swamp, and it's unfair to have to stand trial before a jury that is reflective of swamp mentality. One of the reasons our country is in decline is the politicization, of the rule of law. No more excuses. I will end the weaponization of federal government. No, you won't. I'm gonna tell you why DeSantis won't. And I'm sorry, man. I gotta keep it real, man. Raheem said, wait, you're a lawyer running for president and you didn't take a minute to read the docs despite wanting to grift. And DC is such a swamp. You have fundraisers there last month and the law offices of Dominion Voting Systems, lawyers. You're effing gross, dude. But it's true, he did. It's just too flip-floppy for me. He did. He did do that. You know what I mean? He did. And so the Nick Fad was like, so you have to read the indictments first? And so I said, shucks, it's not going to show. Why is it not showing? That sucks. Because I did reply. But Twitter's been acting weird with me lately. Oh, that's so funny. But then I was like, man, he's not going to read anything. He's not. I mean, it's just insane. Your state has more J6 defendants than any other. They have been targeted by this DOJ exactly the same as Donald Trump or any other high-profile Republican. They needed help. None of them had heard from you or any other elected official in Florida. Okay? All right. And then says, go away. God bless it. Right. So let's just remove this real quick. Cooter soup. There's gonna be some things I say. I mean, I have to speak it for what it is. You have to copy the link and remove the spaces added to. But I have tons of. All right. So what we're gonna do though, Red Bull, are you on Twitter? Because I want you to send me this stuff so that we could talk and look. Just let me know if like you're on Twitter or like where like are you on Instagram or whatever, and then so I could follow you there and then we could chat outside and everything, and maybe even like have you on so we can talk about this because I'm gonna start doing chats, live chats with people. I'm on Discord. Jeez. And that's it. Okay. All right. Fine. That's okay. We'll figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. Cooter Soup, thank you for coming through. So let's talk about a little bit what you said. Love most of DeSantis' policies. He's a stick in the mud. Trump won't do ish when he gets in there either. They won't let him. He had 2 years of full control and still did nothing to go further conservatism. I'm glad you said that because they said that in the DeSantis space. Repu says, I'm not there to target America. You are. I'm just in the way. Oh, yeah. I remember when he said that. And it's so true. Cooter Soup. He spent the same amount of money in 4 years. Oh, man. What you was at Anomalies? Like, that's like Anomaly. I was like, I spent all this money. Yeah, so, all right. It just sounds like Anomaly. Like, hold on. I'm not saying you know, I'm just saying. Almost every president spends more than the previous president. Yeah. It's this thing that people don't remember. They don't. You're on Discord. That's it. I need. All right. Okay. I don't know how to use this. My God, Red Bull. Okay. Cooter Soup. Listen, real quick. So what you said about. Let's first talk about that money thing. You said we were doing amazing economically. We'll say in 2019. Up to 2019, affordable energy. First of all, the fact that like people think that he didn't do anything. I actually have a list of a lot of things that he did. People say he didn't build a wall. He built sections of a wall. Okay. And it was working. And then he had the stuff to continue building the wall. And Biden stopped the building of the wall and then like basically like let the stuff go to rust. I think he started to rebuild a little bit of it. Okay. Affordable energy. Yes. And he had to take a lot of matters into his own hands. Congress would not agree on certain things. So executive orders about drilling at home. He placed tariffs on places like China, brought back a lot of manufacturing back to America. When Joe Biden became, it's funny because I think it was General Motors. One of these motors, their union told them, you guys got to vote for Joe Biden. So they go off and vote for Joe Biden. And guess where? Joe Biden sent their jobs, I think, to Mexico and somewhere else. Okay. The jobs came back home. They came back home. So you had that. The borders were definitely, they were more secure when he was there than I believe any other president, as far as in my lifetime. Definitely not 5 million in right now. And took us out of the WHO, the Paris Accords. This is stuff from the top of my head. Gas prices the price of oil was so low because we were drilling at home that by the time COVID came around, they actually were like at a negative where people were like giving it was being given away. And then he filled up the strategic reserves where Joe Biden went back and, emptied those out. Okay. That's just a little bit. But guess what happened in 2020? There was something called COVID. And I, for the life of me, cannot understand why people think that Donald Trump knew that COVID was coming. Oh, he knew, he was in on it. What? The thing basically did him in. Why would he be in on something like that? Why? But I can't say what's in somebody's mind, right? Oh, he let Fauci take over the country. No, he did what every other president did when we had a pandemic epidemic. Okay, Fauci. I didn't even know who Fauci was before 2020, but the man's been there the whole time. During the AIDS crisis, who did they go to? Fauci. Reagan went to him. All presidents, didn't matter of political party. They all spoke very highly of him. But now Trump is going to come and just fire him out the blue, right? I didn't even know how corrupt he was until after 2020, right? So he listened to the head of the NIAID, the National Institute to Health. Like, the man was working in public affairs as a doctor for how many decades? Why wouldn't he listen to him? And at the same time, he took us out of the WHO. And I know COVID was the biggest social spending. He's a social, Anomaly calls him like basically a socialist, you could say. He had to give. So what was he going to do? Like, what was he, like the CARES Act? Oh, it was the most socialist bill ever. A thing happened. So yeah, they gave away a lot of money. And then the economy started to get itself back together. And then Biden came in and gave away even more money that he didn't need to give away. I mean, let's not act like, so what was he supposed to do exactly? I hear this thing about, he made the jab. His base didn't want the jab. That's fine, but he's not the president of his base. He's the president of the United States of America. Every epidemic gets a jab. I don't expect anybody to do what I would do. Everybody was noticeably like worried when this thing came here, right? Me, I was like, y'all tripping, man. Don't stay home, go outside. But I'm a nurse, so I can see it for what it is. So Pakuta soup is gone. But as far as DeSantis goes, I'm gonna keep it all the way funky. I hold on. Let me just see a couple things that y'all are saying. Yeah, Congress controls spending. Yes. The chunk of Trump spending, it was Obamacare costs up prior to revoking the individual mandates. If Fauci was there since Reagan, yes, but Trump's like, no, I'm not going to use him. I just feel like that's what he was firing people in the CDC. I remember that. And they were like, oh my God, he's firing people in the CDC, but we need the CDC the most. He probably was finding people who were corrupt and was like, you got to go. I have old clips of Fauci that proved him to be a total fraud during COVID. Yeah, no. Yes, he definitely was, though. He definitely was. Trump tried to fill our strategic reserves during a pandemic when gas was cheap, but the Dems shot it down. I remember, if this is correct. Yeah, and by the way, when that happened, the press conference that came out, so Trump came out and he was like, all right, gas is like at basically negative $5 a barrel. And people were like, oh my God, so what is this going to do? They were mad. What did you do? Look what you did. Have you ever heard of that happening? And it's not just because, that's because it was COVID and people weren't driving around. No, bro, it has to already be low for that to happen. That's because the gas was at about $25 a barrel before it happened, before that happened, right? So he's like, it's okay. He's like, it will regulate itself. Can you imagine begging to pay for stuff? Because he did it. You know what I'm saying? Because he did it Donald Trump, the gas prices, the oil prices, I know something's going on. They couldn't say it was bad, but they couldn't say it was good. I'm telling you, you would have thought that it was like he stole the money from the oil. But I don't know. I would have been like, guys, wow, we are so excited. The gas is so low that it's going negative. Can you imagine? We've never seen this before. Right? No. It's bad because Trump did it. Anyway, he's like, okay, it's going to regulate. Everybody calm down. It'll regulate. It'll, have value again. And then here's another thing. For all this, he doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about you. I don't know if he cares about me. He doesn't know me. And I saw him at the rally. I said, hey, it's me. It's me. But you know how many people invest into oil, like oil stocks? Big deal money people. And this man started drilling at home, which messed with the value of oil, the price. So for somebody who wouldn't care and is so corrupt, Wouldn't you think that he wouldn't do that so that the value could go up, could increase, could raise, so that he could make more? He could even get some backhanded deals off of that. I wonder if Joe Biden's doing that. I don't know. I don't have any evidence to the matter. I'm just saying. Unicorns, fart, and fairies sound legitimately chaotic, right? So, and then to go back about DeSantis, I'm going to keep it real. DeSantis, I understand. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I go there, because Cooter Soup said that Trump hasn't done anything, like further conservative. Look at those Supreme Court judges. Take a look at them again and take a look at the rulings that they're putting out. Yeah, Trump doesn't talk like a conservative. I don't think that he handles his life necessarily like a conservative. Who does, though? You know what I'm saying? Who does? Who's so righteous, right? Okay. But, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how he handles his life or what I don't know. But his actions are very conservative. And the judges reversed Roe versus Wade. Right? The affirmative action, they stick to the Constitution for now, right? So DeSantis definitely has done some pretty good things in Florida, but there's always one thing that I do talk about that I'm sorry, I cannot, I will never give any kind of, I'm about to pull it up. I won't give it a pass. I won't. I'm pulling it up. Sorry, guys. Okay. So this was about, what was this? April 28, 2023. I want to be clear. Every time we start touching on this topic, some sort of disclaimer. I don't really need to make a disclaimer, but I'm just going to just do it. I disavow violence. I don't hate anybody. Okay? But we need to talk about America first. America first. I need to know that a president is going to be as America first as possible. I know we have allies. I do. I feel weird when the allies feel more important than us. Yeah. Governor Ron DeSantis signs legislation in Israel further combating anti-Semitism. Why are you doing that over there for Florida? For Florida. Like, why? Yes, Trump visited Israel. He did things over there for Israel. He didn't sign bills for us over there in Israel. This is something for Florida. And what he did was effectively sign a speech law. Jerusalem, Israel Today, Governor Ron DeSantis visited Israel as part of his international trade mission, where he signed House Bill 269 to provide law enforcement agencies with new enforcement mechanisms to punish perpetrators of anti-Semitic incidents and those who target religious communities. By signing HB 269, Governor DeSantis has once again made Florida a leader on protecting religious liberty and the state of Israel, both in the United States and around the world. No, he didn't. He signed a speech law. He signed a speech law that made it effective. Because when I looked at it, what the law says is you can't, intimidate someone in an anti-Semitic way. Well, what does that mean? With paraphernalia, with your words or whatever. Paraphernalia. Now, this example I'm about to give you was one person who was on Twitter who said they were Jewish. I don't know. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they just were trying to get under my skin. But they said to me that my religion is anti-Semitic. And no, excuse me, I'm a Christian. My religion is based on anti-Semitism. I said, my religion is based on God. That's what it's based on. But people say that about the Christian religion. So paraphernalia. What if a Jehovah's Witness drops a tract over into a person's yard or something and it says Jesus is coming, or something like that? Like, they might not know the person is Jewish, right? Like, hey, whatever, right? If I see something like if even when they come here, I'm like, all right, just toss it and move it on. You know, they get a little aggressive. I tell them, I'm a 7-day event. No, yeah, but we're the better religion. Okay, bye. You know, like that's it, right? There's people that could turn into something. We have this thing, and a lot of times it's mostly like it's what I've noticed that is like these very secular Jewish people who might, you know, who take it far, who want to take it far. Everybody has that group in their race or ethnicity. They have that group. The people who it's all about me, right? So this emboldens that kind of behavior. This is a speech law. Now, when Trump was president, now listen, the situation that's going on in Palestine between Palestinians and Israelis, okay? I don't know enough about it to make a decision on where I would stand or whatever. I don't. That is a complicated situation. I don't know, right? I do know that the Balfour Declaration was a bit much, but okay, you know, I don't know as far as today. I don't want to see people get hurt. I don't like people getting hurt. I don't like fighting. I think it's terrible, right? So Trump was like, he's going to try to work on a treaty between Palestine and Israel. Can you imagine that? First of all, what president really says that? They don't really say that, right? To actually work on a treaty instead of selling them weapons behind each other's back. Oh yeah, because that was happening, you know, under this administration. And Trump says he said he was going to talk to the Palestinian president. He was talking to Netanyahu, and he came up with this plan. But then the Palestinian president was kind of like, nah, like I don't like this one. You know, maybe we could try a different one. But then even Netanyahu, though, he was saying that he didn't like the plan, but it really gave apparently more leniency to Israel. You know, but he was acting funny about it, and Trump said later on, and he was like, he should have really listened to his gut and talked to the Palestinian president more, because he feels like he understands why he didn't like the plan, and he could tell how much it was more sided towards Israel. And he said, like, I should have talked to him a little bit more. But he was trying to break, because he said, he was like, I wanted to broker that deal. Like, my life is about making the art of the deal. So I want to make that deal. I want to, that is a little egoist, right? But so what? But it didn't work out. You know, when he was doing that, and they asked DeSantis about that. DeSantis was like, he's wasting his time. Like, it's not worth doing all this. Like, who basically wants him, like, who cares? Basically, like, who cares? And he said, DeSantis actually said about Trump that he needs to be more, more Israel minded. Now, I'm a descendant of, I'm American. My parents are from Haiti. America first, okay? America first. So you see the border that's in chaos? I don't care who they are. I don't know them. America first. I want to take care of home first. Okay, so we need to close that border. Somebody said, how can you say that as a Haitian? You want to close the borders? Excuse me, I don't know these people coming in. Open your doors and let 500 people in your house. America first. America first. That gives me a problem. This gives me a problem. Yes, it does. And I'm not trying, listen, and we know that, again, it's like, this doesn't mean, it's just the truth. I need, as America, especially after giving all this money to Ukraine. I know that people hear me say some of this stuff, and it's like, oh my God, did I not like add this to the daggone stream? No, I didn't. I'm not like what was I going to say? I understand how this topic can be touchy, but it's America first for me. I live here. And I feel that like my home is getting the raw end of all the deals, all of them. I'm tired of it. So I don't know, but and I know people and I hate being this person, like, I have Jewish friends, but I know people who are Jewish who are like, yeah, it's true. So like, it's a bit much. Yeah, I do know Carrie Mullen. So we're getting ready to get to the end. I'm gonna go ahead and then he ended up dying. Carrie Mullis, he was like, he hated Fauci. He died right before COVID. He died right before. All right. A PCR can't identify source genes. Yeah, I had no. Yeah, absolutely. All it does is just find like little bits and stuff. That's it. Yeah, because they use the same PCR for everything else. So like America. It doesn't tell if you're sick or we're sick. It's just yeah. So all right, let me see. Mechanized ether, you said, and thank you for coming through. I'm a Jew. Israeli people love Trump. I got friends and relatives there. DeSantis isn't getting far trying stuff there. I don't. Yeah, well, I don't know. He's like, it's just not even about getting far. It's like, it's like, listen, man, like we live here. You can't, to me, sign a law for your state in another country. It just feels weird. I'm not saying you can't go visit that country. Of course, we gotta have allies and do whatever. And like, yeah, and diplomacy and all. I get that. But to sign a state law in another country gives me an absolute problem. It does. It does. No hate, Miss Casey. And then Mechanized Ether says, I feel Trump is very egotistic. That's a double-edged sword for him. It benefits him and hurts him. You're absolutely right. He is egotistic, but not like not like, let me see. I don't want to make him sound like a bad guy. Oh, he's not a bad guy, he's a good guy, right? No. But, I don't know, man. I think, I've seen, you got to care a little bit to put yourself through this kind of torture, right? But I know the whole thing, like even when he said, like, I really wanted to broker that deal. And it's like, okay, like he's doing it. He was trying to do something good. I really wish it would have went through. I really wish it would have went through because I feel bad when I see some of this footage from Israel and Palestine and all that stuff. I don't know who wants to see that, right? But it didn't. And so it's like he tried to do something good, but it bothers him that he didn't get it done because it makes him feel like he, I guess, lost. Worse yet, he wants to be liked, and that is a weakness. That's a weakness. That's what kind of got him to in that first term. Like he wanted people to like him. Listen, they're gonna call you white supremacist. They're gonna call you every name in the book, bigot, misogynist, whatever. That second time around, I will hope you wouldn't even care. So what? Not everybody's gonna like you. Yeah, he died. Yep, August 11, 2019. That was Carrie Mullis. Thank you. You are correct. That's it's like it's a state law. Like if he's gonna go to Israel, sign the law for Florida. What? Come on, man. It doesn't make it. Nobody looks good in this, in that kind of a situation too, because you already got people who feel weird about all the stories and stuff, and it's like when you did that, like how does it make you? Why? You want to sign the law, okay? But like, it's just. I don't know, man. I don't know. It just bothers me. I think that's pretty much all I got. Hold on. Let me see. Might have one more thing for you. There was but I don't know, man. I think DeSantis was just fine in Florida, even if he did do that thing, but I think he should have just stayed there. I would have really respected him more if he would have just stayed there. And then, I'm really good friends. Well, this person, Barrington, he's cool. That's my homie. He retweets. I don't know what he answered me when I said this, though. But he'll retweet some of my stuff, whatever, but that doesn't mean we agree on everything. So he says, worst case scenario, Trump is control opposition, useful idiot. Bothers me. Anyway, useful idiot, unaware that he's being used a beacon to covertly undermine personal liberties. How so? Since 2016, the media has demonized him so much that he has become the most polarizing figure ever in the U.S. politics. Right. So, useful idiot. I think he's aware of that. I don't know. I feel like that's just a lot. Like, the deep state powers to be, whatever you want to call them, have tactically used the love-hatred of him as a social conditioning tool to steer the behavior of the American public. Yeah, you don't want to be that vessel, though. I can't imagine how that must feel. Best case scenario, Trump, again, is a useful idiot, aware of the attacks against him, but is doing what's best for his own interests that may be positive and unintended consequences for the rest of America. Either way, again, he is not a savior. And that's the part I hate. I can't. I'm like, God, like, why does it have to be about a savior? So I'm like, there goes that savior word again. Come on, fam. Give the people a little bit more credit than that. They could just, like, he said no. And then Morgan, it doesn't matter. The machine is working perfectly. China just launched its BRICS GB dollar and not a peep for the rest of the world. Listen, we know that BRICS, y'all know I talk about BRICS. But I'm just saying, you know, he's not my savior. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. So there you go. So I think that's a good way to end off this stream. People that hate Trump, I wouldn't say though that Barrington hates Trump, but there are people who do hate him. There are certain DeSantis supporters who are clapping like, yes, put him away, bring all the charges, bring all. And if I was DeSantis, I would bow out. I would be like, you know what? Nope, I don't want to win under these circumstances. Absolutely not. I'm not going to win like this. Anyway, people that hate Trump talk about him as if he were still president, which he should be. People that love Trump want him back more than ever. The second group continues to grow. The first grows more. Yeah. So there you go. So again, and you know, isn't this funny? Like, how long ago was it when they raided his house? Has it been a year? I remember that. I was laying down, resting. Trump house raided by the FBI. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. There was another thing that Cernovich said. He said that basically today you don't have to end people off like JFK. You just pull out a briefcase full of paper. So on that note, guys, thank you for joining me tonight on this breaking news of the usual Trump. So indictment Tuesday. This is what it was. Red Pool. I'm gonna figure out how to make you a moderator. Oh yeah, the first goes more desperate. I'm gonna figure out how to make you a mod. I don't know how to do it. I'll figure it out. But please come back to whatever next live that I do. Please come back. So, because you know, I enjoyed you on the chat. Plus, I wanted. Dang, you don't even have a Twitter. And I don't know how to use Discord, but I wanted to be able to maybe, you know, have you on. Did y'all see that? What the fuck? You froze. Oh, damn it. Are y'all still on? All right. Well, anyway. All right. So I'm going to put my email in the chat. I mean, it's just email. Whoever else wants to email me, they can. I'm doing it right now. Hope but y'all probably going now because y'all probably think that. Let me get off this thing before I get mad. I don't know what the hell that was. So cflna@gmail.com. Thank you, Jason, for coming through. Thank you, Mechanized Ether. Thank you for saying it was a good show. Thanks. I really like doing this. I wish I could do this every day, all day. All right. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.